disabled today. Today's adventures, head to the chiropractor as per usual. And as per usual, I'm late. I got busy chatting with a friend on video chat this morning. He asked our group chat for some cash. He was strapped for it. He didn't pay attention to his license expiring, and it's been expired for some time. Finally got caught, like, yeah, you can't buy any beer, it's expired. And like, oh man. And he's also starting a new job, and so they also require a non-expired license. And so thank goodness things worked out for him. He was able to find the cash to get his renewal. I think it's ridiculous how much it costs to renew your license these days. It's freaking crazy. Absolutely bonkers in my mind. We don't have to hold that damn thing the whole time. I seriously do need to invest an amount. But what I use for my phone is like a phone wallet thing. And so I try to use like physics to like balance it just right on my dash, in between my little bobblehead guy and my compass and things that are like attached to the dash that are part of the Toyota FJ feature. It has a built-in compass, temperature gauge, and I want to say altimeter, but I know that that's not the right word. It's it tells you what angle you're turning, and I know that the turning radius of the FJ, if I hit over 30% angle, I'm going to roll over. So it's handy when I'm doing off-roading and I'm not traveling on flat surfaces. I know at which speed I can go around corners on top of how much I can drive on uneven road. Oh, hi. Oh, I wonder if that helps having that stash there. No, it does not. Not really. It makes it worse. Okay. I had this all set up before I started going, and then my freaking bobblehead guy moved. Stupid darn thing. This is the part that I've been having problems with since I changed my wallets. I changed my wallets because the other one got really messed up and I couldn't do selfies and such with stay there. I couldn't keep I couldn't do certain angles of camera because the wallet thing, the glue came undone and it kept like flopping in and out of focus of the camera. So I finally changed my wallet case, camera case thing. I'm still not happy with my phone. It's one of the newest Android Ultra S23. I don't know. I can't keep up on the damn thing. All I know is I got it like right before it hit stores. Like I pre-ordered it and like within a week it was in stores. So I got some of the first copies of this phone. And I'm really not impressed. I honestly liked my I can't even think of the damn name of it now. The Android that had like the harder case for like more durability. It was like a harder case. Damn it, it's gonna bother me until I look it up on Google. I'm gonna have to like look it up. Whatever it was called, the Active, something Active version. That's all I remember, Active. So the Android Active, some or other. That was my favorite phone. All these phones that have like the beveled edge to wrap around the side, I always thought that was a bad idea. Like, why would you design a phone like that to make it bust more? Oh, so you can make people spend more money on buying new phones more. People were complaining about the Active, supposedly, according to the salespeople. I asked multiple times as they were phasing them out and going with these new bigger phones like 10 years ago or whatever the heck it was. Stupid, ridiculous. Today's shenanigans, though, is I'm heading to the chiro. And then after that, I'm heading shopping. I got my Social Security check early. Thank goodness I have a bill coming out today. I was able to pay my outstanding MRI charges, co-pays. I couldn't pay all of it down. I don't have enough money this time of month. And I have so many other bills that I'm like a week late paying because I ran out of cash the first part of my paycheck at the beginning of the month. My bigger check is from the VA at the beginning of the month, and a lot of that goes towards my bills. It pays my rent, it pays my car insurance, my cell phone, all my stupid little services like streaming services like my YouTube Premium and my Netflix, Amazon. Right now I'm temporarily doing BarkBox for Stormy because I signed up at the right time to get a certain free item, which honestly I don't think my dad has installed anywhere yet. It was a Blink camera. I always wait to sign up for these like subscription boxes, like once they're offering like a certain free item. I'm like, it might be worth it for that, and then I'll subscribe for a couple months and then cancel. And right now I actually have a whole bunch of stuff in the back to donate to the Humane Society for toys. So I'm going to probably do that in between my doctor appointments, because after my chiro, multiple hours later, my chiro is only a half-hour appointment long. Boy, I have like 10 minutes to get, less than 10 minutes to get there. I'm not even on iPod. It is ridiculous. I have my gastroenterology appointment to follow up on and talk about my biopsies that they took during my colonoscopy just haven't driven across the top of the United States, or really through the middle. But I was stationed in the middle when I was in the Navy. My first duty station was at an Air Force base, a Joint Command, because I worked intelligence, and intelligence is between all four branches, believe it or not. Military intelligence, kind of an oxymoron, I know. But anyway, there's Joint Commands all throughout the United States, and the Navy included go to these shore duties to do their intelligence job. And my first one was Denver, Colorado, so I got to explore a lot of Colorado when I was stationed there. I took a road trip. I took a whole month off for my 22nd birthday. I drove like to Garden of the Gods in Colorado. I drove down to Colorado Springs. I drove upwards. I almost got to take a tour of that special mountain, NORAD, or something like that. It's a cool base inside of the mountains in Colorado. Anyways, I almost took a tour there, didn't do that. So I had a good time in Colorado, though. I mean, some of the coldest, most beautiful sunsets behind the Rocky Mountains, just gorgeous. The Mile High City. I partied in downtown Denver. I didn't really care for Denver all that much, honestly. I did do a re-enlistment at Dave & Buster's in Denver, Colorado for my first re-enlistment when I was in Denver. I didn't have to. I re-enlisted early. It's because there was a re-enlistment bonus offered at the time. And so if you have any time left on your remaining contract, they kind of just deduct that from your current enlistment that you, or they kind of tack it on to your new enlistment that you re-enlist for. But they deduct some of the re-enlistment money because you're like, you're already stuck to these years, so we're only going to pay you this much. But I was going to keep re-upping. I was going to spend the whole 20 in the Navy because I really love the re-enlistment bonuses. That I spent lots of money doing all kinds of fun, fantastic things while I served. So I got a savings account. No, I was not smart. I was just like, I want to invest my money in other ways rather than the government TSP program. I should have done it. I should have signed up. But honestly, now, yeah, it would have been nice to have a little bit of a nest egg, but I'll get there. I don't know. I'm disabled. I don't know how much fun I'll really get a chance to have. Like, what do I really need a nest egg for? Besides medical bills? That's all I need the nest egg for is medical bills. It's ridiculous. I could change that. I can change it by going back to the VA healthcare, but no thank you. I would rather go broke than deal with the VA healthcare system, at least at this point. Until I get so far into medical debt that I'm going to be like begging them to be like, please take me back. I can't afford this anymore. I'll go crying back to them, I'm sure, at some point. But right now, I want to learn how to use regular insurance. I want to be a part of the civilian workforce that complains and can be upset about the cost and the rises in healthcare and what they cover and what they don't cover. Like, I actually feel like more of a human that way because I have these complaints now. Like, there is veteran privilege. I'm not gonna lie, there is such a huge veteran privilege. But the recruitment office was open. Y'all could have done it. You could have tried. I mean, unless you had some medical things that you could have hidden and gotten away with and then still gone in. I honestly didn't know I had these underlying health issues. I mean, I knew there was something wrong with me, but I knew I needed job security and I knew I needed health insurance because I didn't know, or I couldn't place my finger on what was wrong with me. But there was still so much right with me that I did the ASVAB. I made it through boot camp, so I was like, let's see how long I can take this. And I didn't, like, at that point, in my early 20s, I didn't know that I had all these underlying genetic issues that were activated by these vaccinations and being a test guinea pig for the military with all their vaccines and anthrax in me. And I mean, my body's been put to the ringer before I even joined the service with antibiotics. nothing was fixing me for ordinary treatment, so I knew I had something extraordinary wrong with me, of everything that the VA and military couldn't do to help me. And I had multiple surgeries in the Navy that helped somewhat. I had multiple sinus surgeries, and I needed them, and they did help me, but those were just signs of the underlying thing of my chronic immune system issues that I had no idea why, why I kept having to have surgery after surgery. Why weren't antibiotics working? Why weren't steroids working? Why couldn't I breathe? It really affected my job in the Navy, because when I was about to transfer from Denver, Colorado, I had orders to go to air crew to be a spy on a plane over other countries. I was going to do that job, and I couldn't because my sinuses were messed up. I had to cancel my orders, and that was my first devastating blow in my military career. Was my sinuses were jacked up. I was so afraid of things getting worse. I was already in the Mile High City, and that's when my sinus issues really got really, really bad, being in the Mile High City and the shallow air, and just it caused so many sinus problems. But I was also partying a bit too, so I mean, I wasn't in the best of health either. I had just the right amount of conditions to turn on my immune system problems in my very first duty station, and then it only escalated in the ship, and then other signs of my celiac disease started showing up on the ship, and then I still so kind of backtrack. So instead of going air crew, I canceled my orders because of my sinus problems. I needed to have surgery, and my time was running out in Colorado. They did all these other treatments for the 2 years, and they're like, sorry, it's time for you to transfer. And I'm like, well, I'm going to have to just take my problems to my next duty station. And I did. And I took it to my ship, and my ship's schedule did not allow me to have very good sinus care. I had to work around the ship's schedule in order to get my sinus surgeries then. And even then it was hard. So I had two, one of those, and then I also had a chin surgery in the Navy in my ship years. And then I started my signs of celiac disease. I had all kinds of problems with celiac disease. I don't know if it was because of the sinus surgeries that I had that messed up my vagus nerve, that messed up other things. I don't know. I can't say one way or another, except for I know that my IBS type symptoms and celiac symptoms began on my ship, and it's probably because of the types of food that I ate and all the vaccines that I had to get. I started getting the anthrax vaccine on that ship. I started getting all these other vaccines and smallpox. I was getting all these viruses and stuff willingly into my body, which probably reactivated my immune system even worse and caused the celiac to really start to take shape. And so then by the time I got to my next duty station, my third one in Hawaii, my problems really, really escalated. I think my connective tissue gave way when I was running because my immune system was so on overload. I started having my temperature dysregulation. I started my hypothyroid symptoms during this time of the 2 years of my medical discharge. Things were just escalating. I had celiac issues. I had Hashimoto's started. And all of this really began from my ship days on, when I started getting all those vaccines and stuff that my body was not introduced to before. And I really do think that's what really caused a lot of my autoimmune problems. It turned on my autoimmune system. And then let alone, I also had some car accidents that happened. Like in Denver, I was a passenger in a friend's car. We got rear-ended. I was in treatment for a while. I did chiropractic care. And then also, little did I know that I somehow at some point formed Chiari malformation with my brain coming out the bottom of my skull. And that's what really initiated my medical discharge with my neck. I started, every time I ran, pain would shoot from my neck all the way down the right side of my body. Sitting for long amounts of time, it really hurt. It was a long process to get out of the Navy. But thinking about, the timing of all my symptoms and when they began, and like what was the potential driver behind it, I seriously think it's the vaccines. I don't have any other things to go off of besides all the years of medical research when I was getting my Bachelor of Science degree in forestry. I was also trying to figure out what was wrong with my body. Why was it so disabled? Like, I'm in my 30s at that point, and at the age of 28 is when the pain began. And I kept having doctors tell me when I got out of the service, you're too young to have this pain, you're too young to have this. I was getting gaslit left and right by every single doctor that I saw within the VA. And they're like, bulging disc, everybody has bulging discs. And if you're not having the migraines from like the Chiari, then there's nothing we can do. We just observe it. And right now, what's crazy is the VA is denying that I have Chiari malformation and that it happened in service, when really I didn't have any of the problems. I'm major clumsy. Like I remember having so many bruises on the ship because of my legs and stuff, bumping things on the ship because of the waves, and I finally got my sea legs at some point where I stopped running it and stuff. But like all of these things started happening during my ship time. I remember at one point I also had this weird like rash urticaria thing happen, and I really think it was shingles. I really do. I think it was shingles. It was some painful rash on my leg. Like, I really think I had shingles. But I went into port. It was in Dubai or United Air or Bahrain. I can't remember which one. It was just one of those two ports. I just know we were in the Persian Gulf on deployment when it happened. How can I not link these things as being a coincidence of the timing of when this stuff happened to me? I can't turn my head the other way. I can't say that it is the reason, but I mean, a lot of the research says that viruses and vaccines can turn things on. And I was always kind of I'm okay with vaccines, whatever. But ever since I've experienced what I have, I hate to say that I'm a kind of an anti-vaxxer now, at least for me. For other people, I feel like it's fine. I feel like it's fine for a lot of people. I'm just one of those people that I can't, and it's unfortunate. Everybody's body is different, and everybody's body reacts differently to different things, so who's to say? Who's to say it all? But I just wanted to give a little timeline, get to know me about my medical history. This is all I put together. This is all this is part of my story. I'm trying to get my story together because I have to fight the VA for it. So hopefully this is a good little draft of what I'm going to say. We'll see what happens. Peace out, y'all. I'm at my appointment.